Hi, we're Shannon and Jerry Arner.
And our dog, Betty White.
Your hosts of the Arner Adventures podcast.
Could we have named it something more creative? Probably. But it's the name of our blog. It's our last name. We're on an adventure. Yada, yada, yada. After running our own business, working 24/7.
And don't forget a mental breakdown in between.
We made a lifestyle change and decided to make the most out of life.
We sold our house, most of our belongings, downsized, and moved to the coast.
We live life minimally, but fully.
We live each day as an adventure.
This show will help you learn how to live life more fully, with more intention, by experiencing more, and with less stuff.
We'll talk about our own experiences, interview others who have much to share by creating a spark in our lives.
Some days we'll share real-life ongoings of what we're going through, and others will talk about our favorite flavor of waffle.
Come join our adventure.
It's the Arner Adventures Podcast. Hello, everyone. I'm Jerry.
And I'm Shannon.
Betty White, our golden gal, is hanging here with us, and we're back for episode 72 of the Arner Adventures Podcast.
We are back for 72 of the Arner Adventures Podcast. What you all don't know is we already recorded this, and it did not record. So this feels a little like deja vu for us.
We had
but
a little rehearsal run.
We did.
Yeah, it's just going to help in the long run.
Well, this is a Shannon and Jerry focused episode today. We're starting out pretty well.
Yeah, right.
We hope you're okay with that. Being on the heels of Earth Day, we thought we would talk about sort of the topic of minimalism and reducing waste and changes that we made in our lifestyle when we made our big lifestyle change a few years ago. But we're going to get into that in a few.
But first, before we get into this exciting combo, let's get to our review of the week.
Our review comes from Sally Ann Smith, 75. Sally says, Shannon and Jerry are truly inspiring. After hearing how they got their start to the minimalist lifestyle, I thought I can make changes too. I always take something away from each podcast, and I really enjoy all their guests. They do their homework, and I feel like I'm hanging out with friends, having coffee, and a part of the conversation. Thanks so much for showing people that there are options to live life fully. Gosh, Sally?
Yeah, thanks, Sally. We really appreciate you taking the time to leave this review. It means a lot to us.
It really does. And that was actually a lengthy one. So that is really nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you'd like to support our podcast, please leave a 5-star review or rating in the platform you're listening to us on. It's super easy. Like Jerry said, it means so much, but it helps to serve us up to others who may enjoy content like ours.
Okay. Today's podcast, our last podcast episode with just us. Well, sort of. It was the Murdaugh Trial podcast. Man, that was crazy.
Yeah. So we say sort of because my mom was in that one.
Yeah.
But it was like not an official guest. Well, she would not like that. She was an official guest.
She was an official guest.
Yeah. But the last time we kind of had our own little thing was definitely the Murdaugh Trial podcast. If you didn't listen to that, you definitely should. Because during the recording, the verdict came in.
Oh, yeah.
And we were just, oh my God, so excited.
Yeah.
So, and while we're on that, before we get into our episode, I want to take a second, if it's okay, and talk about Spirit Airlines. So if you followed the Murdaugh trial, you may know that Alec, which is Alex, by the way, but they call him Alec. Alec was calling his son Buster from jail. And in one of the jailhouse calls, he was really shitting on Spirit Airlines.
Yeah.
And
he took that a little personally.
I did. I did, especially after I flew Spirit Airlines. Oh, fun fact. I flew on the same route that Buster flew on. Like he flew from Charlotte. He flew from Charlotte to Las Vegas. And he was talking about that. And so me and Mom went and took that same flight from Charlotte to Las Vegas. And then we ended up driving to Palm Springs. But we were on the flight and I was like, oh my gosh, Mom, this is the same flight Buster was talking about in the jailhouse call.
Right.
And by the way, Spirit Airlines was lovely. I mean, a lot of people, when I posted about it on Instagram and TikTok, because I did this funny video, people had really strong opinions. They were like, oh my God, it was the worst ever. It is not the worst ever. If you need a bunch of, if you're a little high maintenance when you fly, yeah, you're not going to like it. But I just want to get a really cheap flight and want to get to where I need to go. And I can just put my earbuds in and go on. Like, it's not that big of a deal. I thought it was lovely. Give me a cheap flight any day and I will take it. And Spirit Airlines is not a sponsor of this podcast. I would not be doing them a good service by promoting it that way, but right. I did love it. And I think that Alec doesn't know what he's talking about. And his priorities are not in order.
Not at all. I think there's other things that might have served him better to be discussing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like his next 99 court cases.
That's true.
Well, anyway, that was a good segue. Since Earth Day is just behind us, we thought we would talk about our minimalist lifestyle. But sometimes people just think of our lifestyle as getting rid of stuff, but it's also about living in a way that reduces our carbon footprint and our harm to our mother, Earth. We do love her so.
We do love her. So what we thought we would do is put together a list of maybe, I'd say the top 5 things. I think it's just kind of top 5 things right now that we thought would be helpful to you. This episode is brought to you by Flowdesk. We are big on productivity tools. When someone asks me what top productivity tools I recommend, one of the first is Flowdesk. Flowdesk is an email marketing platform that just makes things so much easier. We used to use MailChimp, but when I started doing a little bit more research, I found that Flowdesk makes email marketing more personal, it's less expensive, it's more aesthetically pleasing, and takes less time to implement. When I work with digital marketing clients, the first thing I recommend is that they make the switch to Flowdesk. There are so many beautiful layouts, workflows, and makes the recipient experience much more pleasant, which is what we all want. If you're looking to make a change to your email marketing platform, I highly recommend Flowdesk. I have a 50% off link for you to use. Head over to arneradventures.com/Flowdesk. Give Flowdesk a try. If you like it, which you're going to, you can save some money on your subscription. It will be linked in the show notes too. It's arneradventures.com/Flowdesk. And now back to the show. Things that we've made changes on with our big lifestyle change, but they're things that you can do. And if you want to be more eco-friendly, it is sort of a minimalist lifestyle thing, but it's also really eco-friendly tools that help you reduce your carbon footprint and financially will help you.
So number 1, start a garden.
Start a garden.
Start a garden, which I guess we restarted a garden.
Yeah, this is our third year. Having a garden. We did not do like fall and winter. My goal was to do that, but yeah, I just didn't get on it. But now that it's spring again, we decided it would be our third year and we have it ready. We're ready. Things are already starting to grow, but starting a garden, I was just having a conversation with someone recently about this, that when you are growing your own food, first of all, it's super fulfilling, but if shit goes down and the zombies come, you are feeding yourself.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It is step number 1, right?
If you're a Walking Dead fan, you know that they grow their own food. What are you going to do? You know, the zombies aren't going to eat it. They don't eat that stuff. So start your own garden.
Start your garden.
To be completely serious, it reduces your carbon footprint. You don't have to go to the grocery store as much. You don't have to buy as much food. So financially, it's better. You will have more than enough food. You know, there's so many. I feel like I reduced the amount of tomatoes we planted this year because we had so many. So I was trying to be a little bit better about it. Our neighbors don't eat them. So anyway, yeah. It's good for your mental health to spend time around it. And I don't know.
It's a good feeling. Yeah.
It is a really good feeling. Yeah. It puts me in a really good mood every morning when I go out there.
Oh, yeah. No, I know. It's been good for a few years for us. It's been a really neat thing.
Yeah. So definitely start a garden. And if you don't have space, you can start a container garden. You can do something small. And we have a neighbor who used to grow tomatoes in pots, and she did really well.
She did. She did. Yeah. There's all kind of ways. Yeah.
Well, number 2, I think is it's the smallest thing that you can do, and it's most impactful.
Yeah.
Number 2 is cloth napkins. And when we say cloth napkins, we're not saying you got to be bougie and, go buy these fancy napkins unless you want to, because you're only going to invest in it once. We switched to cloth napkins years ago before we made our big lifestyle change and minimalized.
Yeah.
But we haven't bought paper towels in years.
It's been a long time. Yeah. It would feel really funny, I think, right now to use paper towels.
Yeah.
It would feel just decadent, I think. Yeah, right?
It would feel more than decadent. To me, it would just feel really wasteful.
Yeah.
I can't imagine having to buy paper towels. But
no, I can't either.
We've used cloth napkins for so long. And we have it's just the two of us Betty, but she doesn't use napkins. But we have the cloth napkins and we have plenty that gets us through the week, and then you wash them and then you use them again. And also, if you have old towels or bedding t-shirts, you can cut those up and use them for cleaning rags. That's what we do.
That's what we do. And that's what I have done for as long as I can think.
Well, yeah. So you've been pretty eco-friendly for a long time.
Oh yeah. I love it. I love a old shirt turning to a rag of some kind. I buy a new shirt and I think years down the road when it's wiping the dipstick of the oil. I really do.
You don't really buy new t-shirts anyway, but
yeah.
But you're being funny.
Yeah, okay. I do. I am being funny.
Yeah. But yeah, I hear you.
I imagine purchasing a new t-shirt, and
I'll tell you something else that I know that you do. So if I have some old socks and they get a hole in them, I think differently, but I used to just throw them in the trash. But you will actually use that, of course, wash them, but use them as cleaning or dust rags and stuff.
Sure.
And so now I do that. I'm like, oh yeah, let me keep that.
Yeah, they have. They
cloth is cloth.
Right. The evolution of the sock it's more than just something for your foot.
Right.
It evolves into so many other things. Yeah, indeed. And moving on, shall we Rocketbook?
I think we should.
Yeah.
Yes, number 3 is Rocketbook.
Yeah.
And they are not a sponsor. We do not have a deal with them. I just think that they have a really cool product. And it's very eco-friendly. It fits our minimalist lifestyle. So if you're someone like me and you, Jer, who really likes to write down notes still. I try to be as digital as I can, but I still like writing notes during the day. And I found this product called Rocketbook, and I have it right here. It's like a spiral bound notebook. You can get different sizes, like a small one or like a 8.5 by 11, but it has a few pages in it, and it comes with it's like a fancy pen, but we found that you can even get them at Walmart. But it does have a certain kind of pen, like an erasable pen. But you take notes. It has a little QR code at the bottom that when you're done taking notes, you can either fill up the notebook, you can do it per page. It has an app on your phone, and you scan it, and you can designate where you want the pages to go. So like for me, I have it designated to a folder on my Google Drive. And I'll label it. Like if it's a meeting with someone, I'll just put, it's meeting with, Sally, the person that left us a review. Meeting with Sally and the date, and I'll scan it and I'll put it in that folder. Or if it's like my to-do list for the week, I have that. And so I might scan it or might not. But the great thing is it comes with this little cloth that you wet it and you can just wipe the pages clean.
Oh, indeed. That's
so nice.
Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by Southern Oak Artisan.
Southern Oak Artisan makes 100% natural soy candles that are not only aesthetically pleasing, but are safe to breathe, since they are made with non-toxic ingredients, and they're not overwhelming like other candles you may be used to.
Between morning brew, lemon bake, lavender, there's just so many scents to choose from.
Southern Oak Artisan 100% natural soy candles are handmade in our home state here in North Carolina, but lucky you, They ship all over the U.S.
Yes, lucky indeed. Head over to arneradventures.com/Southern Oak Artisan, where you can grab our discount code and link to save on your soy candle purchase.
That's arneradventures.com/Southern Oak Artisan. It's also in the show notes.
And now back to the show. And so I don't feel wasteful. I'm not using a bunch of paper, and I fill up my little notebook for the week. And then at the end of the week, I clean it and I start over, and I just love it.
And it's the best thing for you because you do still take a few notes, but ultimately you like everything digital. So
yeah,
your little notes go right in with all your other digital things.
I like being able to type in a search for something and find it. If I didn't have that and I was like, oh no, let me go look in all these papers and find, where I wrote down our tax information or whatever, it would take me forever.
Yeah.
So I like that I can just search,
Yeah.
So anyway, that's really handy. It's a really eco-friendly tool. We'll link it down in the show notes so that you see it there.
Indeed. Yeah.
So number 4 are zero water filters. If you're not familiar with zero water, it's very much like a Brita situation, like the Brita pitcher, Brita filters.
Well, yeah, it's a lot like that. It's we tested a bunch of different things, and zero water filters were the most economical and across the board just the best ones to get.
So we live at the beach and we have beach water, which does not taste good. And zero water, we needed to get filtered water because that's really all we drink. And so we go through a lot of water. So yes, like Jerry said, we have a blog where we talk about the experiment that we did with big, gallon jugs of water. We were having to have 2 or 3 a day.
Yeah.
And then we did all these tests. Like what is more wasteful in plastic? What is more wasteful financially? What lasts longer? And the zero water filters won every single one of them.
Across the board. Yeah. Yeah.
And they also have a recycling program. So you can keep your zero water filters and then send them to them. And then you get coupons on your next zero water filters.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's just, they've been a great thing for us. Yeah, indeed. And the last one is no meat. Well, we haven't eaten meat in 7 or 8 years.
Yeah. I think we stopped eating meat in 2014.
Oh, 2014. So it's actually even been longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you may be wondering, or you might not be, but you might be going, well, why are they saying no meat? What's an eco-friendly thing about no meat? But there's a few facts that you should know, if you don't know, that meat production, to make sure that you have meat on your table to eat, contributes to the release of greenhouse gases, including carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, and all of that leads to global warming. All of the things that keep animals that you eat growing fast, because that's what they want, and overproducing, which is what they want, it takes a lot of energy. And then they put out the poo and all of that, that contributes to all the gases in the air.
Meat production is the single biggest cause of deforestation globally. To make room for grazing, pastures, and cropland, natural forests and grasslands are destroyed.
Right.
Because you need the space to do all this stuff.
Right.
So yeah, there's a lot that goes into it that I never would have thought of till I read up on it.
And we're not even talking about some farmer who has 2 or 3 pigs. By the way, that hardly exists anymore. We're talking about these, because the farmer who had 2 and 3 pigs is now either too old to farm it, or they've sold out to big, I was gonna say big pharma, but it's not, but Tyson or any of those, they've sold those out and contracted their land and their farms. And these companies come in and they put thousands of pigs there and thousands of cows there. And so, they need room for it, and they need a lot of space for all the waste water and all that. And it damages the water. Well, that could be a whole other episode.
My God. Yeah, there's so many things that could go wrong.
Yeah. But speaking of water, meat has a huge water footprint which means that the production of meat wastes a ton of water. Now listen to this, it takes more than 2,400 gallons of water to produce 1 pound of meat.
That's amazing. Yeah,
So
1 pound of meat.
Right.
Yeah.
So when not us, but when someone goes to the grocery store and you're like, oh yeah, I'm just going to get a pound of ground beef to cook my burgers, right?
Mm-hmm.
It took 2,400 gallons of water to make that 1 pound of meat.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah.
I mean, think about all the jugs of water that would take in our, you know, that is crazy.
Well, if you had asked me to guess, I would have said, I don't know, 3 gallons.
I would have said 3.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing. I would have said 3.
Yeah, about 3 gallons.
No, 2,400.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
All in all, y'all, the world is just a better place with our animal friends.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Not eating them.
Not eating them. Just having them around.
Yeah, just having them around. And again, that could be a whole other episode. And without us staying on our high horse, our pedestal, we'll just tell you that. And by the way, we used to be big meat eaters. I mean, the Brazilian steakhouse, I mean, we would keep them in business probably.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. You know, there was steak night, there was burger night, there was meat on your pizza night.
Pizza
night.
The place that had meat lovers or pizza, we were ordering it.
Oh yeah.
I would, you know, we were working in a business that, you know, helped animals, and I was getting steak and making sure it was bloody when I ate it.
Oh,
I mean, so, but
and as sides, we would say, what side of meat do you want with your meat?
Right.
Yeah. And
so when we made that change, which again could be another episode as to why we did that, but when we made that change, our health got better. Yep. And it showed in our blood work, like everything really got better, and it just made it made us feel better about our carbon footprint, you know, not hurting animals and not eating them and all that. So
definitely been good for us. I mean, if you implement any of the changes, it'll make a huge difference in the environment, with yourself. You may be encouraged to continue and make other changes, and others will be influenced by the changes you make.
That's right. Because they'll go, what are you doing there? Are you using cloth napkins? What's that about?
Yeah.
Well, hey, I haven't had to spend money on paper towels like you have. Did you just go to Sam's and get 2 cases of paper towels? Well, I don't have to do that.
All right.
You know, I use that old t-shirt in there. A t-shirt you gave me for Christmas, I cut it up and used it as a towel.
That is good stuff.
Well, look, we would love to know if you make any of these changes, if you have made any of these changes, and if you have some that you recommend, let us know. And, you know, again, Earth Day is past, but Earth Day is every day.
Oh, in my world, yeah.
Right?
In your world.
In my world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'd love to hear about it, so let us know.
If this episode resonated with you, or if you know of someone who would benefit from anything we talked about today, or any episode, our guests, or anything, please share it with a friend. It's a great way of supporting the podcast and us, and we really appreciate it.
Another way of supporting the pod is by leaving us a 5-star review rating on the platform you're listening to us on. Oh, and go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because that also supports us. We would love that.
You can always find us, links we refer to during the show, and any of the podcast sponsors at arneradventures.com, or linked here in these show notes. And until next time, enjoy that journey you're on. We're wishing you lots of adventures.
Adios.
Arrivederci.
Au revoir.
Adios.
Sayonara.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Dos vidaniana.